Open Topics with Don Armando.
Us.
What's brother?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We're here.
Yep. I could actually say that I had a good tranquil day yesterday. You know, I did go. Me and my wife, we just we ate at a Chinese restaurant in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and then we just took a chill and just want to watch the movies and everything. But then I was having people hit me up from Australia, Germany, Dominican Republic, of course. All over, just wishing me happy birthday.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck happened? All right, I guess it was technical difficulties. So, we do this every Wednesday. There's open topics with Don Armando, the martial arts edition. So, if anybody has anything to ask, well, I'm right here, and Pete is back.
So the browser decided to do an update and it didn't prompt me or anything. It just did it by itself.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah, I know. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how's everything with you, Pete?
I'm hanging in there.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there,
Hmm.
One day at a time. I gotta contact this doctor tomorrow. See what's
All
up
right.
with the physical therapy that they want me to take, and let's see what happens after that.
Yeah. Let's see.
Cool. Choking on my spit for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to call out one of the kids because I caught them standing on their bed. And right when I went
Wow.
to call them out, I started coughing. I'm like, "Gee, sheesh."
Yeah.
Yeah, about to serve the kids food in a few minutes.
Yo, what did you make? Did you make some steak?
Nope, not today.
Uh,
Not today. Today I made some rice with salami, some beans on the side. I got some avocado, and I'm gonna most likely have a chuleta that from yesterday that was left over.
got you.
I don't know how much you
I
heard because the
mean,
mic was
shoot.
off yet again. So The mic was off.
Yeah, I heard that you was actually that you said that you was gonna leave it. All right. No, I
So
was
I
saying
made
that that you said that
I
you was
made
actually gonna leave a chuleta that you left over.
yeah, and that's when it went mute. All right,
Yeah,
so I gotta move the mouse away from the mic thing because the sensitivity is just tapping and it's going to that.
got you.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my cousin sent me a clip about something about San
All
Pedro,
right.
and I shared it. I
Oh,
shared it in
okay.
the WhatsApp group, and
Yep, I saw it.
I was intrigued. I was like, wow, there's a
I
few things
mean,
I didn't
some of
know.
it. I mean, some of it I already knew already. It's just the
Yeah,
first parts. I was like, wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Shout
some
out to
things I didn't
my
know.
primo. Yeah, shout out to my primo Joeling, who's up in Barbado right now. So
Shout out.
he said that he liked the clip too because I actually shared it to like my WhatsApp story.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, brother, man. Give me 2 seconds. Let me go check this rice real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right. I just vibe out for the music for a little bit. All right.
All right. All right. So beans are not done yet. That's something they're gonna have to wait for. Okay. Mm, excuse me.
I'm back.
All right.
Yeah. You know what was funny is that I was looking at like an interview with Chuck Norris,
Yeah.
and he was actually detailing the iconic scene with him and Bruce Lee.
Okay. Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. No, it's not Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon. I think it was. I know it had dragon in it, but
It was mad dry.
yeah, I think it was Way of the Dragon.
The Way of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that beans aren't done just yet.
Mm,
Once that's done, I'll be serving.
yeah.
Chuck Norris. That reminds me that at one point, Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Benny the Jet, Superfoot Wallace, those people were at one point training together.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then if you really look at it, what a lot of people don't understand is that during the 1970s, people who were doing the martial arts, they're actually more united than anything. I mean, during that time period. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to run. I was
It was
smelling
even to
something
the
burning.
got you. It was even to the point that my pops even learned the martial arts when he came to this country. He didn't get to be a black belt, but you know,
It's about the journey.
but he did take the journey though, and he made
Yeah,
it to
man.
brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
That's that's big. That's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yes,
That's
it
a big
is.
deal. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Brown belt in jiu-jitsu can easily kick anybody's butt in any other system easily. Honestly, you could be a brown belt in karate, and if you confront someone that's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and you let that jiu-jitsu guy grapple you, you're done.
Young.
You're done because they don't really teach
Mm-hmm.
judo, jiu-jitsu, and karate until you reach brown belt. So everything you know before that is
Yep.
just going to be, the basic fundamentals of karate, and there's no really talk. There's no real tossing involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Got this guy that's going to grapple you and choke you out. That's yeah, you're not ready for that. You never trained in that, so
Yep.
it's a problem.
Exactly.
Brown belt in
Shout
jiu-jitsu.
out. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to my homegirl Afro Dominicana on Instagram. So you know.
Shout out, shout out. Guys, remember to pass through
Yeah.
the YouTube page and hit the like. Leave a comment, leave a question. Interact with us. We're here to interact with you.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, your average brown belt in any system that's not judo, jujitsu, um, aikido, sambo, anything that has to do with grappling, any other system that all they do is punch and kick, they're not going to be ready for a grappler. They're going to get their arms broken. They're going to get their shoulder popped out
Right.
because all they know is straight combat, not
Mm-hmm.
no defensive evasive, um, suicide throws, this, that, the third. There's so many other things. So many things.
Yep. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
I will. You know what would be like my dream thing?
What's
I
that?
would like to see. I would like to see Shuai Jiao versus Jiu Jitsu. I think that would be epic.
So why Joe?
Yeah.
Um, what's that? Like a form of salat?
No, Shuai Jiao. Shuai Jiao. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's like it's like the Chinese wrestling art that has been for thousands of years. I mean, if you actually look at it, it has kind of like a similarity to judo, but then is actually what you would call Chinese grappling.
Yeah, it's more quinna. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Evasive maneuvers and sweeps, tripping, pushing. Slamming, suicide tosses. Yeah, that has that kind of stuff. So yeah, that who knows? It's gonna depend on the practitioners how much they practice. I'm saying how much discipline they put into it. All right, I'm gonna serve the food now. Be back in a minute.
All right, I got you. So I'm just gonna read from, I guess, Wikipedia or maybe some other history about Shuai Jiao. Um, like I said, well, let's see. According to Wikipedia, the term pertaining to the ancient jacket wrestling wushu style Beijing, Tianjin, and Baoding of Hebei province in the North China Plain was codified by Shan Pu Ying, the Battalion of Excellency in Catching of the Ne Wu Fu, internal administration unit of the Imperial Household Department. In modern usage, it also the general Mandarin Chinese term for any form of wrestling, both inside and outside China. As a generic name, it may be used to cover various styles of wrestling practiced in China in the form of a martial arts system or sport. The art was introduced to southern China in the Republican era after 1911. History. Over 6,000 years ago, the earliest Chinese term for wrestling, jiao di, refers to an ancient style of military kung fu in which soldiers wore horned headgear in which they attempted to butt, throw, and defeat their enemies. Ancient Chinese legends talk about the legendary deity Yellow Emperor, who commanded the soldiers who used these techniques. In later times, young people would play a similar game, emulating the contest of domestic cattle without the headgear. Jiaodi has been described as an originating source of wrestling and latter forms of martial arts in China. Interesting. Jiaodi was first referenced in the Classic of Rites during the Zhao dynasty. Jiao Li supplemented throwing techniques with strikes, blocks, joint locks, and attacks on pressure points. These exercises were practiced in the winter by soldiers who also practiced archery and studied military strategy. Jiao Li, well, if anybody who knows Chinese, I'm not trying to butcher the language, so just bear with me. Jiao Li eventually became a public sport held for court amusement as well as for recruiting the best fighters. Competitors wrestled each other on a raised platform called a lei tai for potential reward of being hired as a bodyguard to the emperor or a martial arts instructor for the imperial military. Jiao Li was taught to soldiers in China over many centuries, and his popularity amongst the military guaranteed his influence on later Chinese martial arts through the end of the Qing dynasty. Interesting.
Let the questions come pouring in.
Exactly.
I wonder where's the usual list of suspects.
Yeah. I mean, I guess everybody, sometimes they come, sometimes they may have something. But hey, the usual list of suspects are always welcome. I even
Yep.
told one of my gym friends today that his brother's a silat master. I was like, "Yo, come through." I mean, I actually showed him like how he could actually come, like how his brother could actually come through, the site and everything. So yep,
Oh, what was I gonna say? Say something. I coughed in it, and it jolted the thought in my head.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, Salat is one of those dangerous arts as well, man.
mm-hmm,
At a very low ranking, you could be very dangerous in that art,
yep,
as opposed to some arts. Obviously, you have to put the time in. Learning off experience at the dojo, then you become somewhat of a threat. But that's a lot. That's a lot system, man. You're already a year or two in. You're already dangerous.
yeah, pretty much.
So everybody's served. Everybody's eating. Um,
Yep,
my throat is still a little messed up from how I woke up on Monday, but
got you.
it feels much better. I just I have to make myself another tea, just to
Yeah,
keep it at bay. I don't want it to. I don't want it to get worse or something.
right.
I know I had a cup of juice somewhere, and I don't remember where I left it at. Probably left it in the kids' room when I went to go holler at them because they were making too much noise and mommy was trying to sleep.
Right.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That video said that at one point San Pedro was empty. I'm like, what?
I mean, yeah. If you actually look at the history and such like that, you know, the main points of Dominican Republic at that time. I'm talking about the colonial and everything like that. I
Right.
mean, was the only place that was that would be incorporated into San Pedro de Macorís was San Jose de los Llanos, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So what we know as San Pedro de Macorís, yeah, it was empty. And then they said that you had like a lot of rich Cubans that actually went to San Pedro to make it what it is today. When I read that,
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah. So I love how the video explained that Macorís with the X was because it meant, that in San Pedro at the time, the people that were there were different. They were
yep,
extranjeros, they were travelers. They were people
yeah.
from
If you actually look at it, right? I mean, everybody, you had a lot of people who would be deemed travelers, right? Um, you have you had Italians, you had Germans, you even had Arabs, and then the Los Cocogos. You even had certain people from Puerto Rico that lived in San Pedro. So, And this is from what my mom used to tell me, and I seen it for myself. I mean, the descendants
Yeah,
of the Arabs and such.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, for sure. I remember meeting a few people that were um, Arabian, Japanese, Korean, Chinese,
yep,
um, what people call straight gringo, that fair skin. You know what I'm saying? I've met
yep,
Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? I've met a lot of different cultures living in San Pedro, and they don't try to claim like if San Pedro belongs to one person or another. You know what I'm saying? They claim diversity and they claim unity and diversity. You know what I'm saying? San Pedro's the city of one love.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We're all
Hmm.
different people, but we're all one people under the sun. And and this is why I'm
Exactly.
I'm happy to say that I'm from San Pedro. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being from somewhere else and there's lack of culture there.
Pretty much.
Hold up. He's gonna get in trouble for that. That's yeah, I mean, like I've always said, San Pedro's rich in history, and there's and it goes to show, like I saw that one 3-minute information video and it filled up blanks that I had in my head of San Pedro's history. Saying besides the history of the ingenios and la zona
Yep.
franca and all that stuff, like, so technically Cuba brought baseball to San Pedro, and from there forget
Yeah.
about it. We
Yep.
did what San Pedro knows
Pretty
what to
much.
do. Take over.
Yep.
Oh, baseball? Okay, take over.
Pretty much. And that's why how shall I say in our history, anybody when we say San Pedro, we're like, yeah, you're the best peloteros in the country. I was like, yep, pretty much.
Yeah. there's no there's no debate in that. It's really undebatable.
Hmm.
Obviously
Exactly.
not saying that there aren't, you know, good baseball players all over the country, but
Right.
San Pedro is known for being the factory of baseball players. Like, that says it all.
Yep. And some of my relatives are in that league also.
And that's it.
Yeah.
For real, for real, for real.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Entering to some of these messages that I get from different karate groups that are on Facebook, and Instagram.
Yo, if anything, put me in because I like karate groups. I'm shout out to Yang Martial Arts
Shout out.
because I've been yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, I'll put you into a few of them.
All right.
Yeah. I'm eventually gonna have to make my own, and
Yeah.
the people that are co-following with me in other groups will eventually start following my group as well, and grow from there. Pretty much everything's networking.
Yep.
Everything
Yep.
is networking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking some cold tea from earlier. That even though it's cold, it's still better than nothing. Like my throat
Pretty
was so
much.
dry, I was coughing for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay, my throat was so dry, I was literally coughing on my own spit. Like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why do I got desert mouth? Like
Yeah. And you could actually say that because you actually been to the desert, so
that part.
Yeah.
That it's so hot and humid, your palate is dry. No matter how much water you
Mm-hmm.
drink, it's like water doesn't do nothing.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so hot out in that desert, man. You'll end up drinking a gallon of water and spitting half of it back out because you drank it too fast.
So
For
that's what
real.
that's what Israeli people used to tell me that this heat is nothing. I was like, wow.
Yeah, the people of the sun. When you live close to that equator, that heat is so bad. It trains you though. I'll tell you that. Your enemies can't come close to you because they just can't
Mm-hmm.
breathe. You can't breathe. You don't have any energy to fight.
Right.
Game over.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. A lot going on in the world, but there's a lot going on right here in America.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't. I can't really. I mean, I could, but then I couldn't because a lot of it's like I don't know which media to believe now. If it's the left or the right media, all I know is that this guy.
It's done.
I just know that Donald Trump and the new Prime Minister of Canada is economically beefing. So it's either here or there for me.
Shit, I hear you. Boys, as soon as you're done, go to bed. You have school tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Us. Yeah,
Us.
that was little man. I gave him an order and he said us. That's it. No back talk. No talk at all. No. He won't it's like sometimes he'll say okay or whatever, but not even. He just us. That's it. Like, all right, you got it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Little man, I didn't see him, right? I saw, I guess, the older boy.
You didn't see little man, the 4-year-old?
Nah, I didn't.
Oh, okay. You'll see him next time.
Yep.
MJ, are you done?
I'll let you know when I'm back in the city.
Are you done? Okay, hurry up, finish so you can go to bed. You have school tomorrow. Yeah. No, I think you met him because I think all the kids came out to the living room.
Nah, it was only um I think I met, how should I say, your oldest son. I don't know if that's your oldest son. I know I met
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
I know I met your other daughter and your younger daughter. I think I didn't see little man though.
yeah. All right, so you didn't see the youngest two boys.
No, I didn't.
All right, yeah. I got a young one that's here that's 6. The other one's 4. And then we don't know what the baby's gonna be that wifey's currently pregnant now.
Right.
So here's a martial arts question for people that are in tune right now. Um, is it us or is it USA? OSS or OSU?
Hmm.
Now,
I would not know.
I
Oh,
I
shout
believe
out
you.
Jomando. Yeah, Jomando mi saludo con mi ahiado. Leonel Aron. Tú sabes. Tú
Saludos,
sabes
saludos.
tu padrino. Sí, tú sabes tu padrino ahí.
All right. And it was a good question that was asked today in the martial arts group. And I consider it a good question because whenever people are stumped and they can't find an answer, that means that's a good question.
Right.
I um I looked at everybody's answers and some people were like, "Oh no, it's um it's always been us, it's us and nothing but us, OSS and that's it." I'm like, "Okay." Another one said, "Nah, it's OSU, it's always been OSU, nothing but OSU and that's it." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I
I
guess I'm going to
mean,
be the only I'm going to be the only person explaining this, I guess."
yeah.
And I had to write. I said, "Listen, us, OSS is used in a way of demonstration of respect. When you come inside the dojo, Ushian, Usenpai, you know what I'm saying? You're showing respect to your seniors and elders. Usa is used in a way of combat. You know what I'm saying? It's used like how you would ki
All
in the
right.
middle of an attack. Kia! You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you're not and when it's time to ki, you don't necessarily even say the word ki. You just utter something. It's for power. Ya, ha, wah, wah. Okay. The elders, when they would ki, most of them would say usa, and doing that pushes the diaphragm in a way that when you hit, it hits with more power.
Mm.
So I explained that. You know what I'm saying? One is a form of salute, the other one is a form of exercising power during an attack.
All right.
And I
Shout out to authorized personnel on Instagram. Yo,
It was good,
salute.
AP.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the breakdown to that. I got a lot of like hits on that comment or whatever. And I'm like, people need to learn that there's always going to be more than one way of doing something, especially when there's different systems.
Right. I
Not
mean,
everybody's going to do the same thing.
there was like when I was actually, talking to martial artists and everything like that. When everybody says ki in um in kung fu, they have what they have to say, right?
Yeah.
And at first they're like, oh yeah, well you see a whole bunch of people like and all that other stuff. They was like, yeah, that's not real. I was like, okay. And then you see certain people that they do that. So that's always been like a thing that I've always wanted to ask all the martial artists because I see certain people that do it, but then when you actually look at modern martial arts films that are not made in Asia, you don't really except Cobra Kai and all the other stuff. Well, I'm talking about the other modern forms of martial arts movies, which is made in the United States. You don't really hear that. So,
Okay.
so that actually makes me wonder, like with the older systems and everything like that. When it was actually the older forms of combat and everything like that, were those ki's and everything like that were used in the time of war, or was
Yes.
it okay?
Ki. All right. I'm explaining it in the most detailist way possible.
All right.
When your body's stiff because you're holding your breath,
All right.
your body is going to move slightly slower than when you're exhaling at the same time that you're moving.
All right.
So the purpose of the ki is so that when you go launch that attack, if you're slightly stiff because you're trying to use power, when you ki on that exhale, the body will stretch slightly more. So whoever you're hitting, you're not hitting your target, you're hitting through your target.
Yes.
So you hit that ki, and trust me, in some cases, some people have gotten so good that they don't need to ki. Their body knows what it needs to do and stretch to where it needs to go. The breathing technique, is already a part of the curriculum. But when you ki during an attack, it just lands harder. It just does.
All right. Yeah, because I've always wondered that. Because certain people would say, "Oh yeah, this is practical." No, it's not practical. I'm like, okay, so what is it? So
What's not practical is that tornado kick. That tornado kick is impractical.
How so? And I'm just
Because
saying,
you're spinning your back towards the enemy. You can get
yes,
kicked in your back. You can get kicked in the neck.
I've always heard that.
You're doing a spinning tornado kick. The person just has to wait for you on the ground to sweep you so that you can land in a way that it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Also, the problem with a tornado kick is if you block it properly, you can literally grab that person while in the air and slam them. And it's not a good look either.
I've seen that happen.
It's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? The back of your head is not supposed to slam against the ground. That's a concussion waiting to happen.
Yep.
Pretty
I've
much.
actually seen that happen.
I've seen it happen so many times, I stopped throwing tornado kicks myself.
Got you.
Now, I can do a tornado kick. I can teach you how to do a tornado kick, but I'm
I
not going to
used to-
advise. I'm not going to advise you to use it.
I used to know how to do the tornado kick.
It's pretty simple. I just don't advise you to use it because
Yeah, it's very impractical.
the energy that you're exerting in doing that tornado kick, you could have just punched somebody 3 times. They would have been gone.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? Or any other series of techniques, punch to the stomach, open palm to the higher portion of the stomach, close your fist, punch the bottom of the heart or the top. You're going down the center line of the chest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Chest, heart, stomach, all that area is so sensitive, man. Just a simple bat, 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 and that's it. A 3-shot.
Yep.
Don't even got to be a real punch. It could be just like some type of shove, but you're not pushing the person. When you hit the person, you want to make sure you're snapping your hand back. So when it hits,
Right.
It hits like a whip.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Then you could follow that up with a backhand. Come in closer, follow that up with an elbow. You know how bad it is to receive an elbow shot on the top of your heart or even a little bit under your heart? Yo, that sends shock, nervous pain through the whole body system so bad that you'll be stuck there for like 15 seconds. That's worse than a 10-second knockout.
Wow. Good to know.
For real. Ask Chase if he wants it because he said he wanted more. All right.
Yeah, I'm about to have another stream like on Thursday. So you're welcome to join. It's just gonna be like everybody stream that we talking about, anything and everything. But
Open
today,
topics, period.
yeah.
Cool. Cool, cool.
Hmm.
Open topics, period.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. I'll um I'll see what I can do. I will most likely be around because that's God's will.
Yep.
And if I'm around, I will definitely help out.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, man. Um Take advantage that you're online right now. Um Happy late birthday yesterday to my
Thank,
brother,
thank you.
Don Armando. Many
Yep.
blessings to you, brother.
Yep.
Um May the Lord grant you power, favor, grace, you know what I'm saying, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and over everything, love and humbleness
Amen.
with, you know what I'm saying? And with that, may you receive the power that you need to last in the bad days. We are all soldiers in this war.
Yes.
So many blessings to you and the family
Hmm.
and many more years to come in health.
Amen.
Amen. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yeshua HaMashiach.
See.
That's something that a lot of people don't understand, that the letter J didn't exist until like 500 years ago.
Exactly. It
So
was everything was said with the Y.
everything was white. Jessica, this,
Jor-
that,
that's what
everything
that's
was white.
that's why if you see the word Jorgensen is actually pronounced Jorgensen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, 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 yep.
Hmm.
I wonder who authorized who to use the Y as a J.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right? When you actually look at old Spanish documents about how certain words was named, you had certain people that actually, like, say if there was a J in Spanish, that well, would it be the J was actually an X? I was like, wow.
Mm. Right, right, right. That explains how Javier is with an X, Xavier.
Hmm.
Javier is with an X and not a J,
Yeah.
which is weird. So as a kid, I wasn't playing with with a yo-yo. I was playing with a JoJo. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, these people just started taking Y names and putting J to it.
But you know where the yo-yo originated from, right?
Not really.
All right, I'll tell you. What a lot of people don't understand is that okay, and this is for you because you have a certain knowledge of Kali, right? So what we have as a toy now, which is the yo-yo, was actually, and I'm just paraphrasing right here because I'm not going to go around and say I know everything. They said that the yo-yo was actually a weapon in the
Yes.
Philippines.
Yeah. The ninjas used to use it too.
Exactly, but it was like but it's mostly like okay, when it was like tribal warfare in the Philippines. So therefore, I guess when the Americans or so forth, they saw this, I guess, as a plaything. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we have a yo-yo. We're gonna put it like this and that. But the original yo-yo is actually a Philippine weapon. When I found that out, I was like, dang. But then again, it makes sense though. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of weapons that are actually in Asia that do not make sense to the Western eyes until
Yes, because it's more indigenous or cavemanish, if you will.
But then,
It's more savage.
but then again, when they're in the receiving end of that weapon, it was like, oh crap.
The knowledge I have of yo-yos is that it originated from, what we call el trompo, which is when you dance a top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so cuando tú tienes un trompo and you throw it and you pull the string back, it starts to spin.
Yeah.
Right. They would use that as a type of projectile as well because it has a spike on it.
Yeah.
And then they came to the point where they modified the middle to where the string wouldn't leave the projectile, and they would throw it and then retract it and then throw it again back and forth. So it was still considered a spinning top, but they changed the name to yo-yo.
Yeah.
Lil Mine, what's good, Lil Mine?
Yeah. Shout out to Lil Ming. Shout out to Marvelous on Instagram.
All the Instagrammers, remember to pass by the YouTube and hit the like. Remember to leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? A question. Interact with us, man. We're here to interact with you.
Exactly. Yo, so Lil Ming, you got any questions about the martial arts? Because we have a martial arts expert right here, which is Pete.
Hoorah.
Yep. My well, yesterday was my own birthday, but then, as far as my day, as far as making another stream, I mean, I could make another stream on Saturday, but then I might be busy on Saturday, so I'm going to make another stream, I guess, for the open topics where anybody could actually come. Everybody's welcomed. Because I would have done it Tuesday, but then I was busy Tuesday actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Oh yeah. Shout out to everybody up in Aggressive Defiance. They actually have the real news and such. And sadly, one of the content creators, which is a locale, uh, actually suffered a tragedy that her brother got unalived, and her mother's in the hospital, all due to strong arm robbery of the car. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh wow.
You just have to.
Bad.
Yeah.
Anything violence is bad, bro. I wanna also send a shout out and a deep condolences to my brother Kokolo, 23. His mom passed away yesterday, and or was it this morning? Something like that. And he's devastated. My thoughts and prayers go for him and his family.
Yo, I feel for that guy because I want to do that, man.
It's not easy, man.
Yo, I'm gonna go around and hit up Kokomo and I'll be like, yo, I feel for you, man.
Karate is definitely my main system. Karate was the system that opened up my martial eye. Obviously, everybody grew up on Bruce Lee, watching Bruce Lee on TV. So at one point or another, everybody knew Kung Fu. But what I knew was karate. I knew karate growing up. until the age of 11 or 12. You know what I'm saying? That's when I started, that's when they started giving us judo and jujitsu as a supplement to the grappling system. That's when I learned different ways of moving and evading and um, dodging, parrying, learning how to, grab a punch in the air and using the person's momentum to just flip them over. Stuff like that it's not necessarily used in karate, but we'll definitely teach it to you after brown belt. So
Right.
most karate practitioners that have been around for a while are going to know how to do these moves. And this is why it's important to not miss, never miss a segment that your syllabus is training, because you don't know what they're going to give that day. And if that day they gave grappling and you didn't show up and you get grappled the next time and you don't know, that's on you because you wasn't there.
Deep.
Most grappling techniques have a counter. Most techniques have a counter, and most counters have counters to that counter. So at the end of the day, it's having a common flow to the extent where you don't think of what your next move is. If you wait to think of what your next move is going to be, the first person to think gets hit. You can't think. You got to just move. Follow the flow. Whatever's coming your way, deflect, close the gap so that the person doesn't have space to throw any more, punches or whatever. And don't worry about punching if you're so close. Just use what you have. Use your elbows. Use your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Grapple. Hit that knee. You know what I'm saying? Clench to close. Choke somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that could be done. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to not think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look like I have a visitor.
My link.
Mhm.
I'm not on YouTube at the moment, so I can't necessarily drop a link, but you can click on my name. So I just threw a yo in the comment. You should be able to click on my name and take you to my page.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. I think mommy said she called out for tonight. Yeah. The eldest went to go wake mom up, but I'm like, I think she said she called out.
Right.
That's up to her. Not trying to criticize, but I find it funny how, like, she'll call out, right? 'Cause she doesn't feel well or whatever the case is, and I understand. But
Yeah.
but uh, um, but 30 minutes later after that, like, full of energy and awake and alert and everything is fine. I'm like, I thought you said you didn't feel good. I thought you called out. Oh yeah, I did. I'm like, you look fine now.
The thing is though, is like sometimes, like how my mom used to say, she's like, find, you could be alright and everything like that, but then you have to understand that sometimes when there's oppression and stuff, certain certain women cannot. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying certain women when it's like that time and such, you have to relax and all that stuff. That's what my mom told me. And I'm just saying this is not for all the women that has had a child and everything like that, because women are different. But then
Right.
they were saying what my mom and aunt used to say. It was like, when it's when a baby, when a woman is actually carrying the child, you if they even overwork themselves a little bit, that could be a danger to the child. So
Correct.
yeah, it could be a
Either
slight thing.
either it be
So
emotional, physical, mental. It could disturb creation.
pretty much.
Yeah, everything is related. Everything falls under some type of circle. You know, some type of chain reaction, or what we call in Spanish vínculo. Vínculo are
Yep.
things that are bond to each other in different ways.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, y'all. I need to make a milkshake for her.
Hey, do your husbandly duty, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. So while Peter's doing his duties as a husband, I mean, feel free to actually ask, because we're here either in Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch, where we could actually try to ask or answer some of your martial arts questions, and that's for anybody. So there's certain questions that I have to ask myself. I asked one of them. The other the other part is, I guess I might have to ask somebody who knows. Like, if there was if there's been other martial arts styles that's been, you know, that people actually looked at animals and then they just created a martial arts style. I know it's true for Chinese martial arts and Indonesian martial arts. So if there's any other martial arts that actually has that same system or criteria, let me know. I'm all up for knowledge. So we still here. Cool. Yeah. Facts, little man. Yeah. So I'm just here. Anybody could have to comment.
Hey, yo, what you call that?
Yep.
I call that the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Why, yo? Because it rhymes with
Mm-hmm.
Holyfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the boxers that I grew up under. You know what I'm saying, watching you champs battle is what made me want to push forward and become a champ myself. So,
Mhm.
to honor your legacy, you know what I'm saying, I'm teaching my generations, my young ones, how to box and how to do martial arts. You know, not just based off my own legacy, but based off the legacy of the champs that were before me. So for sure, shout out
Pretty
to
much.
anybody that practices martial arts as a sport, practices martial arts as a tradition, practices martial arts as a culture, anyone that practices martial arts in general. And tisk to those that say that, you know, Tai Chi isn't a martial art. Shame on you. Tai Chi is definitely a martial art. Get a Tai Chi master angry and watch your face eat the floor in 2 seconds. Just saying. That's the for sure, for sure. Yo, man, you got any questions more? You got any more questions under the belt, man?
Yeah, because I'm not going to
So
say that I know all the questions, and maybe Pete may not know either, but we could
yeah.
actually answer them for you.
So here's something that, just to make a footnote on what he just said. You know, you got to teach the knowledge before it's all lost. Um, Personally, I feel that if you don't teach what you've learned, you're gonna lose that knowledge in yourself, and you're not gonna be able to teach it
Yeah.
forward because you personally forgot. So when I'm teaching stuff to my students, it's also a fresh reminder to myself of how things need to be done, you know, and then remembering my experience, you know, I know the discipline of what I'm doing. You know, certain punches are supposed to be thrown at a certain angle, you know, of height, up, down, certain, you know, there's names for these things. You know, Jordan meaning anything that's high between the head and the chest. From the chest to the waist is Chudan, which is the middle. And then the bottom part, I kind of forgot. But there's 3 levels to certain things. And this is why different angles, you know, exist in attacks. You know, an overhand right punch, which is very known in boxing, not per se in karate. An overhand right punch is an angled punch. It's not just coming flat. That fist is coming from overhead in an angle that's kind of hard to block. So your job is to parry and move out that line of attack, you know what I'm saying? And then rock to the side, start hitting them body shots. You know what I'm saying, once that person runs out of air, they ran out of fight. It's that simple. This is why I believe that body shots are very effective in a real fight. You know what I'm saying? But body shots are only good to an extent, because I'd rather attack the nerve lines, you know, the meridians, you know, the center line of the body. Anywhere you attack up or down the center line, it sends shock waves of pain to the brain that neutralizes your opponent without you having to exert so much effort and or actually hurt the person. Food
Yep.
is definitely a topic when it comes to martial arts. You know, if you're someone that's practicing martial arts, you can't live on a Doritos and Coca-Cola diet, you know, because you're gonna hurt yourself. You know, your muscles need more than just Doritos cheese. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're the kind of person that all you do is eat pizza and eat taquitos at 7-Eleven, you know, that's not good for martial arts either. You really need to have some sort of balanced diet where you're at least intaking enough protein to replenish your muscles. Because believe it or not, every time you work out, you're technically destroying the muscle, and that's what makes it stronger when it recovers. And it'll recover faster if you're high injecting it with protein. You know what I'm saying? That protein boost really does a lot. Body does more than that one punch to never. You might want to rephrase that for me, because I've seen fights end in one punch. I've seen fights end in one slap. I've seen fights end in one elbow shot. And it's like, wow, what happened here? It's the luck of the draw. Anybody can be a professional in martial arts. And if you get hit in certain spots in your face, fight's over. It's why you always got to protect your neck. You can't let anyone punch you in the front of your neck or in the back of your neck. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect your neck always. You know what I'm saying? If someone hits you hard enough in the back of your neck, that'll disrupt your whole spinal cord. And you're a standing quadriplegic that was in the middle of a fight and can't fight no more now. You got to protect your neck. You know what I'm saying? Got to protect your neck. It's better to break a foot. Or like my sensei used to say, break your foot in someone's butt. Make sure they don't break your neck.
Yep.
Break your foot. You break your foot, you heal in 8 months. You break your neck, you might not ever heal, ever. You might not even live to talk about it. So that part. Yep. I teach my students when chopping, if you do a chop to someone's neck, which is a quick knockout, I'm saying if you do a chop to someone's neck, you got to be careful how much power you're putting into that chop, because if the chop is too overbearing, it's gonna hemorrhage or sever one of those discs in the spine, and that's something you don't want to do, because you will go to jail for that. Yeah, that's the problem with that. It falls under the brutality law. You could have a cookie the size of Montana on your face that you got punched in your face, and you got a black eye, and cops won't even care for that because they get black eyes during training. You chop somebody in the neck and you sever their spine, and their disc are thinking that they're slinkies. They're gonna look at you like, oh man, that's man one. You just brutality on a person, Mortal Kombat style. It's like, it wasn't even hard.
There was a movie that I saw with Nicolas Cage, right? I think it was called Con Air, right? So the guy,
Con Air was crazy.
Yeah, so the guy, the character that Nicolas Cage played, he actually killed a man in self-defense because that man was actually getting at him. And Nicolas Cage character was in the military. So he was just coming home, I guess, after doing his sentence and stuff. And then, that's when the Con Air thing happened with everybody with all the convicts taking charge of the plane, etc.
Yeah.
So when I'm just saying, like, for military personnel that have gotten in situations like that, I mean, while you was in the service, did you hear of any military personnel, either whichever brand, get into situations that the one that I explained where a guy got unalived?
Bro, there's a lot of Marines. There's a lot of Marines that I know that are in jail right now for what they call it involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary? You mean like no one really intended to do anything of that nature, to want to hurt someone, but you're defending yourself. And this is why, like, my sergeant used to tell us, when you're fighting a civilian, keep it civil. And I would ask him, what the heck do you mean by keep it civil? And he tells me there's different levels to fighting. You're fighting over a disagreement, keep it civil, keep it hands and feet. Don't resort to your elbows and your knees. Keep it civil. And then he said, if the situation escalates and your life is threatened, then go ahead, land those elbow shots and those knee shots. But don't try to slam the person. Like, don't get rid of them right away. And then there's,
Oh,
of
all
course,
right.
the third level, which is warfare. And everything is fair in love
Right.
and war. You know what I'm saying? In warfare, the person is trying to unalive you. You need to press delete before them. Because if you don't, the cross is going to your house.
Right.
He said, to keep it 100, I'd like to catch this combo without a buzz so I can convey my thoughts properly. Oh, man, that's good. That's
Yeah.
rich. Um,
That's a good that's a good one, man.
that's a good one. You know, uh, I don't know. YouTube stopped the interaction between channels. Like, you're not allowed to DM anyone anymore. So to send each other messages, you would legit have to either go to one of my feeds or something and make a comment. And I don't really think I have anything as of right now on my channel, but I will be upgrading my channel to open up a cast that was revealed to me to open so that I can help people as far
Mm.
as mental situations, spiritual situations, and stuff like that. So stay tuned. My channel's
Mm.
about to be open. My Instagram is the same as my YouTube, PK Darkness. It's either a man with a lion head or it's a credit card of a black king sitting on a throne and it says darkness. Either way, yeah, I'm definitely on Instagram. You can hit me up on Instagram and I'll answer your questions. And if you wanna dialogue a little further, you can do that on Instagram as well. And then when we do the show again next time, you know what I'm saying, you come to the show and we could do the same dialogue over again. You know what I'm saying? Or come up with different ideas. But either way, this show is going up. And
Yep.
it's already been a year and change. The show's been going on for a year and change. And we've already had some martial arts masters pull up to the studio and, you know, give us a taste of what traditional cultural martial arts is, as opposed to, these modern systems that are just basically around for a buck. They're not really around because they want people to learn anything. You know,
Mm.
when I see um, a kid that's 7 or 8 years old that just started martial arts, and 2 years later he's a brown belt, I have a problem with that.
Mm.
I have a problem with that.
Oh,
Not because,
all right,
not
all right,
because.
all right. So,
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
all right. The reason why I say that is like, okay, because I guess it goes through syllabus and everything like that. But
Right.
but all right. One question I have to ask you:
Yeah.
when you became a black belt, what age were you, and how many
13.
years you was in the system? 13
Since I
when you
was
became a
5.
black belt.
Since I was 5.
All right. Okay. Because when I went up to Taekwondo, when I took Taekwondo, right down in Gulfport, Mississippi, I saw kids that actually became a black belt in a year. And then when I came to New York, there was like, oh, you have to be, in order for you to be a black belt, you have to be 5 years in the system. So that always puzzled me. So I was like, okay. So I have to ask I guess I'll have to ask several martial artists within their systems about that, because that always I'm going to be honest, it puzzled me. So
Yeah, it's definitely puzzling.
yeah.
And on my Instagram, guys, you're gonna notice that I make my own memes and stuff. I make custom memes. You know, if people have an idea of a meme that they want to make or whatever, just run it by my DMs and Instagram, and I will make a digital poster for you that'll be, you know, your meme. I'm saying I don't even have to put a tag on it. It could just be your thing. You know, so that's definitely the link to my Instagram. Um, I make beats as well.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, bro, I see 7, 8 year olds be in a system 2 years, and like how you already a brown belt. How'd you go from how'd you go from 10th keel to second keel or third keel? Like that's wild.
Yeah.
So then here's my thing. How are you gonna put that 8 year old brown belt or 9 year old brown belt against the brown belt who's 12, 13, 14 years old and expect that fight to be equal if obviously one of those two brown belts isn't really a brown belt?
Mm.
One of those two brown belts isn't really a brown belt. And this is what's going to happen. The
Mm.
person that has the higher syllabus is going to have more knowledge than the other one. So here you are seeing the brown
Right.
belt that's not really a brown belt, not knowing how to block certain attacks that are coming his way because he didn't really learn that stuff. His parents just paid for the belt.
Mm.
And that's my problem with a
Right.
lot of these dojos out here.
Yeah, and that's why I actually started the martial arts edition, because I actually got inspired by Mac Dojo Life, by the way. I mean, he actually has like a funny, he actually exposing a lot of these Mac Dojos. And then,
Yeah,
we have some of these Mac Dojos that actually don't show love to the kids, and they actually ill treat the kids. And some of these parents do not know that these masters, they could know the martial arts, but yet they're treating their students like they're on lunch meat. Sorry to say.
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have time to stand around and pretend or believe in fantasy that things can't happen. Things happen, and this is the importance of constantly training and constantly practicing. Seeing other people fight as well. Watching matches and like all that stuff is important. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to uphold your common practice, uphold um common flow, because once you have a common flow, you have go-to moves. Your body is what we call muscle memory, reacting to what's going on in your environment. You don't have to think about nothing.
Right.
And that's basically it.
Yeah.
That is basically it.
All right. Now I don't know if you can ask, or I don't know if I can ask, or if it's classified. All right. Your
Yeah,
predecessors before you in
my
the
bad, brother.
Marine.
My bad, brother. Following you back, little man. I just accepted following you back. So the ancestors in the service.
Yeah, well, your predecessors in the service. All right. Now, it always intrigues me, right? So I know that the Marines, they had a lot of fighting practices. So
Oh
one
yeah.
day I was actually watching The Simpsons, and there was a guy who was like a Marine and stuff. It was like, oh, you giving me my kung fu grip. So was it like, I'm just saying, like, to your knowledge and maybe to people who were your predecessors, did they ever talk about that? Okay, we just learned one system and then we just went to another system, or you cannot really answer that because it's classified. That's all I gotta ask.
There is some classified information in that, but what's not classified is this. Our system is based off of almost 12 different types of martial arts. And
All right.
the system that was used between the 80s and 90s, like something that Lil Man was just talking about, the system that was being used between the 80s and 90s, and before then, it was called the Line 101. And now it's called Marine Corps Martial Arts Program. Now it's something else. But it's not that it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the curriculum has been tightened up. The curriculum is sharper, and it's a fail-safe system. Once you learn the system, the only way you're losing is because God wasn't looking out for you.
Right.
Honestly, once you learn what the system has to offer, there's no way you're losing. There's just no way.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was trained under the line system, the Line 101
All right.
system. You know what I'm saying? Grab, twist, pull, grab, knee in place, um, sweep, stomp. Ah! That was our training. Um,
All right.
Now we have the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, and after 2,000 hours of that, you're basically a black belt.
Okay.
But this is the 2,000 hours that you weren't expecting to have in your life. These are the last 2,000 hours that you're expecting to live, because the training is so brutal, it's so extreme. You wanna die.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the way we're trained for all scenario possibilities in combat and war, that it's like if we're gonna be deleted. And then when you go out to war, it's not as hard as how you got trained, and that's one of the reasons why you get to come back home.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't trained that hard and extreme, you probably weren't gonna make it home.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah, line 101, bro. That's forget about it. Counter to a straight punch, counter to a right hook, counter to an uppercut. If someone's trying to lapel grab you with one hand, two hands, someone's trying to grab you by the wrist. These are all technically Hapkido techniques. It's karate mixed with judo, mixed with jiu-jitsu. It's all the same thing. Then you got a little bit of Krav Maga in the mix.
All
That's
right.
all it is. You know what I'm saying? And what they did now with the new curriculum, it's all they did was tighten it up. Tighten up.
Yep.
And the easiest way to tell a real Marine from a fake Marine, ask that Marine to grab a knife for you. Tell them, hey, grab this knife for me. And the way they're grabbing the knife, you're going to tell if they're a Marine or not.
Mm.
If they're grabbing it in a way that's neutral, they're going to have it in a neutral grab. If you tell them, grab the knife in a way that's used for combat, and they don't know what they're doing, you're going to know off rip, my man,
You're
get out of
Fugazi.
here. You Fugazi. You Fugazi, in a very weird way. Saying
Yep.
if you tell somebody, if you pass someone a knife and they say they're a Marine and you tell them to hold the knife in a combat situation and they're holding it straight up.
All right. All right. Now I'm gonna ask you, and I know that you have like different you may have friends who are different type of veterans, right? So
Yeah.
with that question, right? Let's just say that you could tell that, okay, which branch of the armed forces that person served in. So is would like by the
Hold
way
on.
that they hold a knife, or the way that they hold a burner.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh,
Kinda.
all right.
But when it comes to
Hmm.
medals and ribbons and stuff, some of the things are the same, so you can't really tell because of that. That's not really the go-to. What you want to look at is the buttons on
Yeah,
the
the
uniform.
reason.
The
All right.
buttons on the uniform are going to
The reason
reflect
why.
if. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the reason why I say that is because I was looking at Nicholas Irvin. You know, he was the reaper of the in the army, so therefore that's what his reputation is. So the reason why I asked that is because since you went up and you said on how that person holds a knife or a burner, so that's why I was saying, like, do servicemen, like, you know, when you have certain servicemen that you know that they talk to each other, you know, SEALs, Army, Air Force, etc. Right? Like, would you tell, like, okay, yeah, that person's in the armed forces, but that person was not a Marine. You get what I'm trying to say?
I can tell by the way
That
they're holding the
aspect.
knife.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I can tell by the. If you're not
Okay.
holding that knife in a 45-degree angle, you're not a Marine. All right. The reason they tell us to hold the
Mm.
knife that way is so that your enemy sees the point of your knife. They see the point and they see your hand. They don't see how long the blade is.
Right.
And that's the trick right there. This
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna explain that with something that I incorporated into my system. I call it the T-Rex
All
theory.
right.
I call it the
The
T-Rex
T-Rex
theory
theory.
because
Okay.
the T-Rex is one of the most dangerous dinosaurs that ever existed, but has the
Right.
shortest arms.
Mm-hmm.
So when I teach about the T-Rex theory, what I'm teaching is people to stand in a way where your opponent is looking at your hands and your arms, and they don't know the length of your arms. You know what I'm saying? You have your hands and arms clenched in a way that they can't tell how long that punch is gonna come. So once they reach that line, that you know that's the limit line. If anything passes that line, you know your hand can hit there. All you got to do is wait. You know what I'm saying? Bob, weave. If they came to that line, bakata, bakata. Here comes the combo. You know, and I'm not the one to punch. I'm not gonna punch you. I'm gonna open hand palm you into your face. I'm gonna shock you. Once you get that shock, I'm gonna come in and grapple. I'm gonna start breaking arms. I'm gonna slam you. I'm gonna stomp on you. It's a wrap.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all warfare tactics. You know what I'm saying? That's not stuff that you use in sports. You know, you don't want to hurt your opponent in sports. You know, in sports, you're just trying to get a point. You know, you don't have to hurt someone to prove a point. Get it?
Yeah.
But that's the real deal. It ain't pretty, but it'll definitely save your life. And if you're learning martial arts to help defend someone else, you know what I'm saying? In other words, if you're learning martial arts to be a bodyguard, you know what I'm saying? To be someone that protects people that are people of interest, protect VIPs, protect MVPs, you know, then you want to learn systems that teach you how to cover someone, you know what I'm saying, and move them in a way where they're out of line of fire and they're protected while you can move and, you know, attack the opposition when it's coming. Not easy, not simple, needs to be practiced. These are things that need to be practiced. Because once again, if you had to think, you lost. It has to be common flow. Everything has to just move. Everything has to flow and go. Because that 1 second that you hesitated, delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Like my sergeant used to say, you hesitate, you die.
Yep.
It's that simple. If you hesitate, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a cut on the top of my lip from a bar fight that I wasn't even involved in. You know, it was my captain. He was involved in a bar fight with someone else. And when some dude went to go smack him with a bottle in his face or in the back of the head or whatever, I came in and blocked for him, but forgot to block myself. And I got hit in the face with it.
Dag.
Now, knowing me, you know, which you know me a little bit, but you don't know my old me, how I was, my temper.
Right.
I got so mad. I got so pissed off that I got hit with this bottle because I didn't block for myself. I blocked for this other person. I got so pissed off because I'm like, dude, how'd you manage to injure my face off the battlefield? And I'm on the battlefield and I don't get hurt. That pissed me off so bad. I literally grabbed this person by their arm and shoulder and I slammed them. I slammed them in between their neck and spine on purpose to make sure that person wouldn't walk again. Because I was that upset. You managed to injure my God-given face, and we're not even on the battlefield. That pissed me off. That was bad. I really lost my temper that day.
Right.
But then again, anybody would. Who likes getting hit in the face with a bottle? Nobody.
Yeah.
You know, my name looks like Bottle Face McGee. No, I don't like getting hit in the face with no bottles.
Right.
So, not even plastic bottles. Cut it out. You know, so it's crazy. I'm blocking for a whole nother person. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. I blocked for a whole nother person. You know what I'm saying? And forgot to block myself. Like, yo, yeah. You know, when you protect somebody, you are their shield. So you just need to be safe, period. So for me to be able to intervene or intercept and block for him, but not block for myself, it messed with my mind. It messed with my mind to an extent. Like, did I really just block for this person? I didn't block me. Why am I bleeding out my face? I was so mad.
Right.
Whew. I was so mad. My captain was like, "You okay?" I said, "Man, buy me another shot, bro. Stop playing."
Yeah.
Before we go to this hospital, man, because you know when you're drinking alcohol, anesthesia don't do nothing, so you're gonna feel everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Yo, just give me another shot." Got another. They gave me a double shot, and went off to med bay, and you know they patched up my lip. I was like, I was tight, man. My doctor was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm upset." He's like, "Yeah, I would too." I'm like, "No, you don't get it. I've been in martial arts my whole life. I know how to block. And I couldn't block for myself. Tight." Yeah, I was tight. Like, come on, man. I've been blocking since I was 5. What the heck is going on here?
Yep.
It's weird, man. It's just weird. Or maybe it's not weird. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm weird. But hey, I've been called worse than that, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. You have certain people that they'll actually go and they'll try to call you slow and all this other stuff. I'm like, at the end of the day, Like, I'm from the Bronx. That's
I've
it.
been called crazy. I've been called Riri. I've been called Tittere. I've been called all types of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, well, my asylum is in heaven. Thank you,
Yeah.
brother. Thank you. You know, my asylum is in heaven, bro. My doctor's name is Joshua. So I ain't worried about you or your opinion. I'm worried about making sure I do right by the Lord. And this is what changed my life.
Amen.
I stopped being that person that wanted to hurt something and be mad all the time and be somebody that wanted to do something positive and help and reinforce people positively. You know, the whole world is going through something. Everyone's going through something. You know what I'm saying? Some people need a positive feedback to be able to go through their day. And that's what I want it to be. I want it to be that beacon of light instead of just that beacon of ass kicking.
Yep.
One time my cousin brought me some dude. This was in San Pedro. My cousin brought me some dude from El 2 de Julio, you know, Taekwondo dude. He brought some dude to the house talking about, yo, I want you to spar with this guy. Like, why am I sparring with a green belt? Like, nah, because, you know, I said, bro, I'm a brown belt in Sado Karate at that time. I'm a brown belt in Sado Karate. What I look like sparring with a green belt? They're going to say that I'm abusing. Oh, don't put your belt on. I'm like, my man, it don't work that way. Self-consciously, I'm going to know I'm a brown belt. I'm kilos away. I'm ranks way up over green. Like, it's not fair. Nah, but he's bigger than you. Well, he's going to beat you up.
That don't mean nothing.
Bro, that got me mad. I said, all right, you got it. When I beat your friend up, I don't want to hear nothing. And he started laughing like, oh, you really think you got it? I'm like, bro, watch.
Like, yeah, watch.
I'm like, bro, watch. I went into the front of the building, the front of the house, grandpa's house, right in front of La Jerusalem Primera. Right? I go in front of the house. I us homeboy. We shake hands. I tell him my name. He tells me his name. And my cousin goes, Chairo. And, you know, that's the fighting stance. I said, let's go. You know, ready, Cuni, go, Jumbi. And I literally did a jumping head kick. Just a jumping straight kick. And I hit him right in his chin. Quickest knockout of my life. It was that simple. He wasn't expecting me to do that. Because most jump kicks in Taekwondo aren't as simple as that. I did a simple, straightforward jump kick and hit him right in the chin. It was good night Sally after that. And I looked at my cousin. I'm like, you see what you did? That's your fault. Now you're going to have to take him back to the dojo. Now you're going to have to take him back to the dojo and explain to Elia how you took him to a brown belt to get his ass whooped. So go ahead.
Yeah.
And Elia came to my house. Elia came to the house. And I remember my grandpa spanking me with the belt for like 20 minutes. Because Elia came to the house and said, oh, your grandson did this, and that. Like, bro, y'all doing too much. That dude came to my house to challenge me. It's not like I went to y'all I didn't go to y'all dojo to challenge you guys. You came over to me to challenge me. And then Elia's laughing at me while my grandpa's whooping my butt. And I said, Elia, I don't care that you're a black belt, bro. I'll show you what's up. And bro, he was like, nah, we're not gonna do that because you know, sensei so and so, you know, his sensei wasn't gonna allow it. I'm like, yeah, I bet.
And his sensei was under twin, right?
Yeah, his sensei was under twin.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, these were people that were under twin because twin was that person, bro. He was the one that opened up the El 2 de Julio dojo. Saying, and he had told me to come practice with him, and I told him that I couldn't because I was already doing karate in New York. And I
Right.
couldn't disrespect my master in New York. And he said, all right, well, while you're here in the country, at least supplement and do taekwondo so that your body stays in shape. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, I'll do it. And I quickly went from white belt to yellow belt to green belt in a matter of a year.
Oh wow.
But that's because I had all that syllabus under my belt already. Taekwondo is just another form of karate. Taekwondo is not nothing else.
All right.
So it was easy for me to go from white to green for the simple fact that I already had that syllabus under my belt in a different system. So I started off from white belt, but I just got promoted. Like, they can't hold me on white belt. I'm a brown belt in a different system. They're gonna leave me in white belt, so what? So I could kick everybody's butt? That's not fair.
Right.
So it's one of those, bitter sweet testimony. But I really wanted to kick Elias' butt for getting my ass whooped by Grandpa. I wasn't with that.
I mean, shoot.
And once again, this is how honest I am, bro. Like, total transparency. It's not even just being honest. It's just total transparency. Like they say in Washington Heights, I dead ass told my cousin, I'm not going to fight with that kid. I'm not going to spar with him. He's like 3 belts under me. I'm not going to do it. And for him and the other dude to try to instigate me, oh, you don't want to do it because you suck, or you don't want to do it because you're fat, or you don't want to do it because I'm like, bro, I grew up in martial arts as a fat boy. Don't play yourself. I will draw on your face with my big toe. Like, don't play that. Like, I will draw on your face with my big toe. Like, don't play that. Like, my kicks were sharp. You know what I'm saying? They used to call me Meatball at my dojo. But don't get it confused. Meatball can kick over his head from the front and from the side. I'm 43 years old now, and I can still do the same thing. So I don't understand why people want to judge, oh, no, because the fat guy. Yeah, this is a mask. This beer belly that I got going on here, even though I quit drinking 3 years ago, this beer belly is a mask. Think that I'm fat, that I can't do nothing. Prepare to be amazed. I got beat up by a fat guy. Yes, you did.
I mean, shoot, anybody, the way that I see it, because I've seen it in all life, anybody could get it.
Anybody get it.
So,
ABG.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That reminds me, now that I say ABG, anybody get it? That reminds me of a beat that I had introduced FL Studio to someone so they could start learning how to make music, make beats. And I bumped into that person a year later, and he invited me to his house, and he gifted me a beat that he had made. And the beat was nice. It was real nice. And he entitled it "Anybody Get It." Anybody get it? Anybody get it? Like, yeah, I was like, all right, that's nice. That's nice. And he said, I want you to have that beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, since you're the one that taught me how to make music, I want you to have that beat for you. Da da da. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I took the beat, but I don't know what I did with it. But that beat was pretty fire. Definitely hardcore Brooklyn style hip hop.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Where's my other phone? Give me 1 second. Oh.
All right. Yo, Pete, you there? Oh, so you want to be on TV? All right, got you. All right.
Yeah, I found my phone. It was hiding somewhere in the room.
Got you.
Hey, Tuxedo Cat.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm a little upset.
Look like that she wanted to be on TV.
I turned on the water and there's no water. I'm like, what's going on here? I guess someone's having a flood or something and they have to turn the water off quickly for emergency purposes.
Got you.
You know, but I don't like that, man. I want to go wash my hands and I'm like, yo, where's the water at?
I hate when that happens.
Well, it's a good thing COVID taught us to rely on hand sanitizer.
Pretty much.
But guess what we were using in the military before hand sanitizer even actually existed?
Eucalyptus and alcohol?
Yep. 70 or 90% isopropylic alcohol. Let it rip. Let it burn. If it burns, it works.
Yeah, that's the same thing my mom actually conditioned me with. So, you know.
I love it.
Yep.
My wife doesn't understand why every time I scratch or whatever, instead of putting Vaseline, I throw alcohol first. I'm like, because I need it to dry. I need it to dry with stinging. Let it dry it. And then the alcohol, the Vaseline will be there to, like what Neosporin does, and make sure that nothing from the outside can get in on it. So it acts like a shield and it acts like a moisturizer. As long as it's moisturized, it won't dry up and crack, the new skin that's trying to form. It'll be nice and soft. You know what I'm saying? Vaseline is a good way for you to not scar if you have certain cuts. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with cocoa butter. But you don't want to apply cocoa butter directly to a wound, as opposed to you could apply Vaseline directly to a wound. You know what I'm saying? And just leave it there as a glop. Just leave it glop there. Mm-hmm. Saying it'll do its own job by itself.
Right.
I feel much better. I just washed my hands with alcohol. Don Jose, adelante. Salute, brother. How you feeling?
How you doing, Don Jose?
I have a question for you, Don Jose, since I've never asked. What discipline do you have under your belt, if you have a discipline at all? Are you a boxer? Are you a karate man? Are you a taekwondo, kung fu, tai chi, wudan, kung fu, gum fu, arnis, kali, eskrima, pilates, salat? Are you what kind? If you have any kind of disciplines under your belt, what are your disciplines? Because I be telling people it's not about being a black belt; it's about the journey. Some people in martial arts are so good without even having to be a black belt. It's because it's about how well you practice. How much dedication you're putting into it. You become the master of what you practice. Goes for good things and bad things as well. This is why I encourage people to not practice and indulging in lying or indulging in talking rudely to people or indulging in cursing all the time, because you're going to master that. And when you least expect it, you're going to end up cursing when you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It looks pretty bad when you're going to church, and since you were cursing a storm yesterday, now all of a sudden here comes a brother to talk to you, and you're saying something, and oh, well, this, and that. Bro, why are you talking?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I had a bad day yesterday. I'm like, I thought you were born again. Like, relax. Have faith.
Yeah.
That's what it'd be like. Give me 2 seconds to get this phone call. I'm right here.
All right. Thank you, Don Jose. Okay, I guess when he comes back, you'll see this message.
Yeah, so I saw the comment. I do not do any training per se, but did you at one point? Yeah, because to me, when I talk about martial arts, it's not necessarily always what's going on in current time. To me, it's about the journey. If you were in martial arts 30, 40 years ago, I want to know about it. Not because I want to be nosy, but just so that I know, you know, if at one point or another you had a certain discipline, because it's a certain upbringing, there's a certain way of being when you're someone that's raised in a martial arts, as opposed to being someone that's just raised on the street.
Right.
Because you can learn how to fight in the street, but it's not the same thing as learning how to fight at the dojo.
Mm-mm.
And then when I say systems, I mean, like, if you're a municipal worker and they gave you some type of system training, a system could be anything from one martial art to 3, 4, 5 different martial arts. So when I say system, it could be an incorporation of different disciplines together, which is always a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sacco, Mr. Sacco the other day came up and he said, "Oh, I've been doing kickboxing for a couple of months or whatever." And I'm like, "All right, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
It's the journey. It's the fact that you kept going for a couple of months. That's what I'm looking at."
Yep.
I'm looking at that. You know what I'm saying? For people that, let's say, were officers back then, 20 years ago, they used to have the Impact program that was sponsored by the military. And that was a program that was used so that municipal workers could have defense training. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're some type of essential worker, you need defense training. You don't want people to just come up to you and just smack you around and you don't know how to block. What's up with that?
Right.
That's not cool, man. Nobody like getting slapped. It's not cool. It's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
It's so disrespectful that in DR, the phrase is por una galleta, una puñalada, which means for a smack, a stab. Like, oh, hell no.
Yep. I've seen that too.
So that's the extent of the disrespect it is. If you smacked me, it's almost like if you stabbed me. Like, oh, that's messed up. I'm blocking that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I was laughing the other day. I think I said this the other day on a different show. I was laughing because I was talking to a black belt that didn't know how to block a punch to his throat. I'm saying, how you a black belt? You can't block a punch to your throat. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I'm like, did you buy your belt? Be honest. After like 20 minutes of, I guess, interrogation or putting pressure on him, he confessed, yeah, I bought my belt online. I got it personally engraved. I'm like, okay, so you're an enthusiast or what's going on here? Rock steady. Us.
Rock steady.
Blessings. So, I confronted the dude, and after 20 minutes of putting pressure on him, he confessed, yeah, I bought the bell and I got it engraved, custom engraved and bordered. And I was like, bro, do you know how not stupid and dumb as far as like intelligence wise, but stupid and dumb as far as physically wise? Because if another black belt decides to challenge you, you don't have no kind of syllabus training at all, you're going to get washed. You're going to get mopped. Amen, Rock.
Yeah.
Amen. Crowns to the sky. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get mopped. And it's the same problem I had with some dude that used to come to my building. I guess he was a hustler or whatever. He saw me practicing martial arts with one of my senpais, one of my fellow black belts. And he was like, yo, I'm a red belt. I'm a red belt in karate. Red belt to me means that you're a 5th dan and higher. fifth Dan black belt and higher to me means red belt. So if you're not that, why are you claiming to be that? He goes, I'm a red belt self-taught. I'm like, yo, bro, this conversation's over.
You can't be self-taught in the martial arts. I'm sorry.
You can.
If somebody said it, you
You
can, but
can.
you can't.
You can. But you know what you can't be self-taught in? You can't be self-taught to be a black belt. And then there's levels to black belt. There's 10 levels to black belt. Okay.
And then there was something that you actually told me, Pete, that I actually remembered. Because you got certain people that they're self-taught in the martial arts, right? But then if they don't have like the same, like if they could do a move, they don't know how to do the move. They could actually physically injure somebody, and go to jail because they didn't have the right person to teach them about how far they could actually go with their martial arts.
It's this, brother. Without supervision, don't expect to perfect anything. You need supervision. You need constructive criticism. You need to be told, hey, that punch is supposed to land here, not here. Because if you throw a punch the wrong way with all that power and you break your own wrist, fight's over with you, man. You're not going to want to fight no more. And if you're fighting someone that does have syllabus under their belt and you just broke your hand, they're going to take advantage of that weakness and they're going to be grabbing that wrist every 3 seconds and you're going to just be in pain. Saying there's people that as soon as they see a weakness, they expose the weakness. Oh, you broke your hand? Cool. I'm grabbing you by your wrist.
Pretty much.
So all I got to do is move my hand and automatically you're in pain. So I got you by the wrist. Mantis fish, trap you by the wrist, pull you to me, smack that elbow up, bring that backhand down into your face. Yo, the common flowing combos are, forget about it. They're endless.
Yep.
Let me see what Tuxedo Dog is barking about. What is the problem? What is the problem? You have water and you have food. Cut it out. Not going out. Yeah, I guess Tuxedo Dog wanted to come out, but it's not time for that. Tuxedo Dog gets excited and she wants to bark like it's 2:00 in the afternoon. It's not that time right now.
Right.
There's a time for everything, and it's not time to bark.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's time to bark. Yeah, so since we have a list of mods up in the building, guys, you guys have any questions? It could be martial arts related, it could be non-martial arts related. Y'all know me by now, man. I'm here to help. They saying any little bit of knowledge that I can give forward, there's a little bit of light that I help shed.
Right. Yo, quick thing. I might have to I'm gonna be back.
All right. Yeah, man. I'm here. I'm waiting for some questions. Write down these questions and I'm gonna start coming up with some answers. Or if anybody wants to share a testimony or explain something that they might want, a word on, hey, I'm here. Let me blow my nose. Wonderful. Gotta get some things ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's there.
I'm back.
Yeah. Welcome back, bro.
Yeah. Oh, what I meant to ask you. You made a logo
Yeah.
for that channel that you're about to promote?
I haven't yet, but I have an idea. So I'm trying to build it slowly. And once it's done, because I want to make the whole channel look a certain way. So I'm going to be loading background pictures and certain things to make the channel look nice and presentable. When you go to my page, you're going to see that, oh, this page is dedicated to our Lord and Savior, and it's also dedicated to martial arts, and it's also dedicated to the community. It's dedicated to our people. It's dedicated to those that need help and can't find it. The Bible says, seek the Lord while he can be found. And what that means is, in general, it means to not forget the Lord when everything's going good. Because some people only want to connect with God when things are going bad. And he's not going to necessarily want to hear your prayer if you don't pray before that. You never prayed before, and all of a sudden you want to pray? Like, what's going on over here? God doesn't think like us, obviously. He'll never deny a heart that is repentant and willing. But a lot of people have closed minds and closed hearts and don't want to acknowledge God in their life only because they want to keep living a life of sin. They don't want their sins to be confronted. Let me tell you something. The best thing in life is to live sin-free. And as hard as that is, and as hard as that sounds, it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. It's like, shoot, with my past job and everything like that, I could actually say that I had temptations galore. You get what I'm trying to say?
Shit.
No.
Galore. He said.
Imagine this, right?
He said James Bond. Galore.
Yeah. Imagine the HR, right?
Yeah.
That comes into the scene. She sees you. You told this woman that you have a wife, but for some reason she always has it. She always has it out like, okay, I'm going to get him. It's like she don't say it, but you know the intention already because of past interactions within the past. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's like you had that, right? And then certain people that they just didn't like you because of whatsoever. And then imagine getting to a beef with a guy that over a chick that you don't even care for.
Shit.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy.
It is.
Nah, it's like, okay. It's like, for example, if it's a chick that when you start the job that she has the audacity to go and try to ask you about what you and your lady do in the bedroom, or something that just something which is actually very disrespectful. You have to
Yeah,
tell
pretty
a
much.
person like maybe 5 times, and like okay, don't ask me that question because that's none of your business.
For real.
To put it just yeah, to put it bluntly. And after a while, it's like, yeah, they lost out on that matter. And then now, and then on top of it, that same female is the one that caused problems with the guy who's a fan. And the guy who is a fan, right? You could say that okay, it would be good if that person was a fan automatically. But then if the guy's a fan of a female that he doesn't know the language and everything like that, and then the guy has the ingenious idea to hate on you just because the female is actually paying attention
Closer to you
to
than
you.
him.
And the fact is you don't want this female because she is no good. Like it was just
That
retarded from the get-go. Yeah,
that,
how I have
that
to
part.
call it. Yeah, retarded. It's
I
nothing.
mean,
There's nothing else that you can. There's nothing else you can really say about it. It's like I can understand if you could have a female and you know the language and everything like that, and she rejects you. Okay, men, we could take rejection. It's not pretty, but then sometimes it saves you.
oh
A lot
yeah,
of people don't know that.
it'll definitely save you some. It'll definitely save you.
Yeah.
And some people don't understand that because you're being rejected by a
Mm.
female at that moment, instead of taking it personal, try to look at it as God helping you dodge a missile. Because a lot of these females be out of their cockadoodle doo mind. They be off the
Yeah,
roster,
like
and then it's like
like
God is saving you from that.
yeah, that part. And then another part was it's like okay, you have certain individuals that they were of the predator kind, and they want to try to act like they were all cool and everything like that. And people you just sometimes got frustrated. I'm like, okay, like you don't see that this guy's a creep. You know
Shit.
that yeah.
I'm gonna give you a testimony in brief. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So brief testimony. Obviously this is a part of my life that I don't live anymore. I'm a man of one woman. But this was a part of my life where I had two girlfriends and they were girlfriends to each other. So wherever I'd go, one would be in one of my hands, the other one would be in my other hand. It was that kind of relationship. Um One time
Wow.
I'm sitting in the house with one of my friends. It's a day one friend to me. I've known this person for years. And this person's wife, who I guess was trying to know me or get to know me better. This person's wife turned around and asked my girlfriends, or one of them, that what was my potential in bed? What was my bed work like? And I looked at her like
I'm sorry.
I looked at her I looked at her like she had 100 heads. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why are you asking
Yo,
why are you asking people about me about stuff that you wouldn't dare ask me yourself? Like you ain't never asked me anything like that a day in your life. Because you know your husband's one of my day one friends, but you're gonna turn around and ask one of my girlfriends what my bedwork game looked like, asking about my banana. My banana's not your concern.
damn.
You got your own tree. Deal with your own tree.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was it was it was wicked, bro. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, you're the wife of the homie. Like, I'm not with it. You know, it's
Yeah.
just wild, bro. It's wild. Like, you see me, I got two girls side by side, and you're trying to jump in for what? You're trying to be a fourth wheel?
I mean, think about it. And I'm just saying, like the carnal instincts of things, right?
Right.
If a woman, right, and she sees that you got two females, right, and you have certain females that they'll be like, okay, like what am I missing? Because they have a preconceived notion about you already.
Huh. That part.
So yeah,
That
I
high school
mean,
stuff.
yeah,
Oh, I heard from this person that
transfer
this
to the
and that.
real,
Okay. What does that got to do with you?
yeah, so, yeah. So they'll be like, okay,
It's wild, man. Just
let's
things that I
they'll be
wasn't
like, okay,
expecting.
like
Like, if you don't have
me
the,
personally,
well, say, have a good night, sir.
you
Many
okay,
blessings.
Don Jose, many blessings. I mean, if you actually look at it, right? Because from what you told me and everything like that, and then your name is known in San Pedro, and then if a guy like you, to an outsider that don't know you, and then they see a man with two females, and those two females are just cool with each other. Oh yeah, shout out to my homegirl Helen from the Philippines.
What's good, Helen?
Yeah, yeah. 9 times out of 10, the female's like, hold up.
What he got
Maybe
going
they
on?
might be, yeah. If they want to join too, well, they ain't joining. But then
They
if you
want to
really
be on
look
the
at it
bandwagon.
from
Like,
out,
come on.
I mean, like for example, right? I told you the story many a times with my wife.
Right,
You see, back in the day, I ain't gonna say this. I won't gonna go around and say I was a player, but I
right,
got certain type of women. So
right.
there was one female that she always turned her back at me whatsoever. Even if I said hi, I was not even on that tip, right?
Right.
So one day I was walking in my hood in the Bronx. Shout out to Morrison and Soundview, by the way,
Shout out.
in the Bronx.
BX,
So
baby.
I was walk. Yep. So one day I was I was walking with my wife when we was courting, and
Yep.
we was walking on the and we was walking to the train station. That same female saw me and my wife while we was courting. It happened like maybe 2015, 2014, 2015, right? So I'm just walking with her, and we were going to our place. I think it was a restaurant or something. So while we was going right there, remind you, the same female that
Didn't want to give you
that
the time of
always
day.
went to yep, was
Now all
in
of a sudden
skates,
wants a whole date.
breaking her neck.
Phew.
And then
In,
after
D-
that,
in DR we go,
and
I
then
hear
after that,
you.
yeah. And then after that, whenever I never really talked to the female after that. But I let her know that I'm not interested in you anymore. I could be talking to Fulano right up in the street, right? We're talking something about San Pedro. She going around smiling and everything like that. I was like, no, ma, your time is over.
Your time is up.
And yep. And I could be like, okay, I could talk to one of my homies that was working in the bank because I told him like the right stuff, and I could about like maybe one time while he was a teenager, I'm like, yo, just go get that bank account. You know what I'm saying? Because females ain't respecting the pulling out the money anymore. You know what I mean? He's like,
Facts.
okay. So me and him, we were just talking. I'm like, yo, hey, how you doing? He was all right. And you should have seen this chick. She was smiling and everything like that. I'm like, I don't want you. You lost your chance. That's it. I'm with my wife.
Correct. I don't know what it is about being single for whatever it is, you know, try to holler at certain females. They want to, give you the blind eye and the cold shoulder. And then the moment they see you with somebody, now all of a sudden they want you. Like, what is this? What is going on here? Like, why are you even trying to talk to me now? Time's up.
Yep. It's like, I could be in, it's like, when I was in Dominican Republic, there was a female that liked me, and I liked her, but it never really came to nothing because I only came to like Dominican Republic sporadically. It's like when I came back, that person was married and I wasn't. And then, when I came back, and then, it's like
It's fast to me,
just yes, distance. So, he's like, no, I'm not gonna go do that. So,
They like to say amor de lejos, amor de pendejo. If you love from afar, it makes you dumb. I don't think that's true, but there is a certain distance.
It depends because
there's a certain distance, There's a certain distance that once it becomes too far, it's just too far. It's really, it's a matter of transparency, man. If you love someone and that's the only person for you, doesn't matter where you go around the world, man. The only thing you can think about is that person, and you want to come back home to that person regardless. That's it. Saying there's no extra in between, nothing worth discovering or exploring. Most discoveries and most explorations lead to death. So it's better to not even go that route. You're going to reap what you sow. Saying you go out into the world and you let girls flirt with you and holler at you. Who is to say that that's not Who is to say that that's not happening with your partner? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that, that it's not worse on the partner's end? It's just
or better yet, the same stuff that I've heard, and this is for anybody and everybody who's not from the United States. Everybody has heard stories and counter stories of women and men. Like, for example, like, okay, like me and my Dominican friends, right? We used to say like, "Hey, we're not getting a girl from DR." I was like, "Why?" And I'm just an inquiring mind. It was like, well, this is before the word chapeadora became cool.
Oh gosh.
I said before. So therefore
you and I
I
know what you
like, yeah. So
this
like,
is pre 2005. Yeah, pre chapeadora era.
Right.
Y2K, if you will.
Yeah. So it was known that in Dominican Republic that if you got with the wrong female, 9 times out of 10, when you trying to, when you get when you get acquainted and such like that, the next thing you know, you get robbed and you basically walk in the street without no clothes.
Oh yeah,
And that's just, and that's just the and that's just the and that's just if you just make it out alive.
that's the basics right there. They'll leave you in your
Yeah.
underwear, stripped.
Mm-hmm. Because it was a case that there was a Puerto Rican student that she got unalived, right?
Okay.
And the guy that went up and unalived her was actually I guess a somewhat known person in San Pedro. Because my mother she went up and hired that man as a driver. And when she heard the news that it was that person, she couldn't believe it was even that person because that person treated her so well. But the way that that student was unalived and the details because of it, my mom was shocked. She was like, "Dang," because that was the person that she hired to drive her around. And then when that
Wow.
news broke out, that when that news broke out in the Dominican Republic and came to El Rojo Vivo in the United States, my mom was shocked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty much it, man. That's what happens. Okay. Oh,
yeah,
you
I'm
getting
back.
messy.
Yeah, so you know, we got a shout out to Helen's vlog and everything like that because I know that she's straight from the Philippines and sometimes we have like a time difference. But
Right.
you know, I shout out to her because I just came to her channel and we talk. I saw like a lot of her subscribers and everything like that. So I'll be on her chat sometimes like early in the morning where it's like maybe later night in her country. But
Right.
one thing is that being on her channel, I've came to a lot of channels that that they talk about the Philippines, etc., and even some fine musicians in the Philippines. I may not understand the language, but I actually love the language of music.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the first comment in the chat before the stream even started was from Helen.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, cool. Now, she'll probably be around later. And there she is.
Exactly. Yo, I'm just looking at Twitter, right? And it's a sad day. So this is what the I guess it's an ad, and they
Okay.
said that by the name of a guy by the name of Anthony Constantino, and this is what he
Okay.
says, and I guess it's an ad. I just got word that the Catskill Village Board voted to shut down the historic Customado Gym. This must be overturned immediately. Customado's Gym is a major part of NY history. Mike Tyson, one of our New York legends, got his start here. Cuss is an Italian
Wow.
American hero who kept kids off the streets for years, and his works continues to this day. I happened to train there recently, and Cuss Spirit is still alive, motivating hardworking kids. NY can't
Beautiful.
suffer another horrible loss like this one. Save, save Cuss Jim. And I'm like, you know what? He's right.
Yeah, man. These are emotional landmarks. Saying because a gym could be anywhere, but these are landmarks that have more sentimental value than they do, let's say, certain buildings that have certain type of architecture and Roman columns and Greek designs and this and that.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Nah, but tomorrow's show we're gonna actually talk about a news happening that has been in DR, and you could come too because I know that you have more experience within the tourist industry than anybody else. So
Worked for the casino.
it'll be a good chat. Yeah.
At one point, I worked for Barcelona de Cameron Hotel and Casino, and then at one point, I guess Barcelona dropped the hotel, and I spoke to the owner of the
Right.
hotel at that time. It was Victor Picasso. I don't know if he's still alive. And the owner told me I dropped Barcelo because they were chipping me off on my money. They weren't giving me the whole thing that I was supposed to be getting. So since I dropped them, now I've been getting the direct income of the hotel directly to me. And I have people that manage my HR, and I'm making more money now. I wasn't making so much money when I had these people managing it. And I'm like, oh wow, that's so wild.
I mean, that happens.
I hear
I don't
you.
know about the Dominican work structure because I never worked in DR, but I know
Yeah.
that I know that something ain't right because I have family members that actually ask me like, "Yo, I need this to go to Bávaro, or I need this to go to Puerto Plata, this, that, and the third."
Mm-hmm.
So I know that the United States. I don't know about the European work structure or the Japanese work structure, but I do know that something is wrong if I'm not going to go around and say, "Oh, this, that, and the third," but I know something is wrong. If
I hear you.
a person has to go to Bávaro of all places, all I can say I know that something is wrong. Got you.
Yo, shout out to Fuerte, another one of
Yep.
the another one of the list of suspects. Mod
Yep.
gang. You already know.
Exactly.
That's what's up. To be able to pass by and show some love and still be DJing at the same time, that's definitely some multitasking at another level.
Exactly. That's an
I
interesting
have,
thing.
I have,
Hmm.
and it's sad, but those aren't the only people I've met homeless. I've also met, a lot of veterans that are homeless. And it's like, sheesh.
Right. Yeah.
It's a shame, man. A lot of martial
Hmm.
art masters lose everything because, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. When you dedicate your life to something, that means that you're dedicating all your time to one thing, and you're not administering your time well enough, to where you're owning assets and you know you're protecting the liability of your home. You're protecting, your insurance. Certain martial artists that are masters right now don't even have cars. And it's not because they're poor per se, but it's because their economic situation doesn't allow them to have a car. Saying it's not like Dominican
Right.
Republic. You could just turn around, buy a car, and hopefully you don't get stopped by the police and you're good. It's whatever. Here, you buy a car
Yeah.
and the second you're in the street without a license plate, whoop whoop. Hello.
Yep. But hold up. I have I have a friend, right? That he's just like you, right? And he says that he goes to the whenever he comes to the United States because he actually lives in DR. He says that I guess he shows his military ID or something like that, and if he was to ever get shown by the cops, they know what it is already. You know anything about that?
I mean, the police are supposed to respect all forms of military. You just need to have the card to identify yourself with. If you don't have it, they're going to give you hell.
Got you.
And that is the truth.
Hmm.
Because they'll give me hell until they run my name at the precinct. And then they're like, yo no sabía. That's why you're scratching your head now. I told you earlier, but you had to bring me in and run my name, huh? All right. Let's see
Exactly.
what your captain has to say now. I've been escorted so many times from the cell to the cafeteria. Here's coffee. Here's this. I'm like, what's going on here? Y'all were treating me like crap a few minutes ago. Why am I getting royal treatment now? Oh, we ran your name by the
Right.
system. I'm like, oh, did I not tell you who I was before you brought me here? Now you feeling stupid, huh?
Right. I mean, if you actually look at it, yeah, yeah, a person could feel stupid, but you know who makes it bad for real veterans? The people who practice stolen valor.
Not even. It's not even, bro. Because people practice stolen valor, and you don't know what inspired them to do that. But you have these tyrants out here, pretending or overthinking that because they have some kind of authority, that all of a sudden now they're the maximum authority.
Right.
So I see why some people go with stolen valor and try to finesse the police in a certain way. And police fall for it sometimes. But
Yeah.
because of the tyranny that's in the system, that's the problem. You know, like listen, one time I was with my Asian lady friend, Maywa. We were going
Right.
down the highway. We were going on West Side Highway. I was taking her back to her crib, and I got pulled over a headlight or a backlight.
All
One of
right.
the backlights was out, and I go, okay, what's going on? oh, one of your backlights is out. You know, I need to give you a ticket and da 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 da. Do you have an ID? Do you have this? Do you have that? I go, my man, it's just a backlight. I already have the replacement right here in my back seat, as you can see through the window. I'm about to do that myself in the morning. I'm just right now taking this lady back to her home, you know, because she's the daughter of a colonel. And I don't want her to have to go back home in a cab and something happens to her, because then the colonel's going to come ask me what happened. Oh, you military? I said, yeah, I'm a Marine, blah, blah, blah. Oh, all these Marines are pussycat. I'm like, hey, yo, my man, you just opened the can of worms you wasn't supposed to open, bro. Like, what you mean? What I mean is take your utility belt off and your badge, and let's make this officially unofficial. Because you're not gonna call my brothers pussycats when we're the true lions of this.
And then we know what happened, Pete, because you told me the story.
Definitely know what happened.
Yeah.
He went for a strong haymaker. I ducked under his haymaker,
and you
spin him around, get him with that German clench, hit him with that German suplex.
Yep.
After that, his partner threatened to tase me. I said I was done. I was good. I was satisfied. Put my hands behind my neck. I got on my knees. I said, call for backup, because none of y'all can put hands on me. And he called backup, and some of the backup were Marines. I was like, oh, cool. Hoorah. What's going on? I said, this is your homeboy? He's like, yeah. You know what he said? He said Marines were pussycats. And the dude looked at him like, really, bro?
You really said that?
Like, you really said that? Is that why you got slammed? Yeah, he was rubbing it in. Yeah. Is that why you got slammed? Really, homie?
Yeah.
When we got to the precinct, God did a flex for me. We got to that precinct, and it was a precinct that had a captain. Most precincts only have a lieutenant. This precinct had a captain, and the captain was a former Marine. Wait till I told him the story. He went ham. He said, De La Rosa, you're free to go. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yep.
So that's one incident that I should have been doing 7 years for. And then there's the double incident when I got into a fight with two cops in my old building because they thought I was criminally trespassing. How am I criminally trespassing in my own building? I have keys to my apartment, keys to the lobby, keys to the mailbox. You're bugging. Oh, you don't have an ID. You don't have this. You don't have that. Can you just verify with me by coming upstairs to my apartment? Like, give me at least that shred of doubt. Give me the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a Marine, bro. Don't put your hands on me. Because if you do it, it's not gonna be nice. Oh, you're threatening an officer? I'm like, no, you're threatening an officer. I just told you I'm an officer for the United States Marine Corps. Like, respect it. Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out when we get to the pre. I'm like, oh, okay. I see. And they tried me for the okie doke. They tried to put handcuffs on both my hands, one on one side, one on the other, and I blacked out. I thought I was getting kidnapped. I blacked out. I went ham. I went ham. I only know the details of what happened because they wrote it on the report and because of the neighbors that came out and later told me, oh, you did this and you did that. I'm like, word? So I'm a ninja. While in handcuffs? Oh, wow. That's interesting. You know, and at the precinct, one of the guys that was the person in the problem, he came and tried to shake my hand and apologize because when they found out who I was, they were like, damn, we had no reason doubting you. You were telling us the truth. I said, I guess it's just a New York thing.
It is.
You see a dark-skinned male, automatically it's a thug. Arrest him.
It was like You know what's funny, right? Talking about NYPD stupidity, right? I see two cops, right? Like up on White Plains Road in Parkchester. So I took the 39. I just went up and I put my hat down. I see these two cops hop on the bus. This how this how stupid these guys are.
Shit.
And I got off on White Plains and Story. I
Okay.
see a female. I was like, hey, how you doing? She didn't pay me no mind. I was like, all right, cool. And this is when I was just getting off of work at my old job up in Queens. The next thing you know, this cop is talking about these cops are following me, and I just put in my earphones to act like I'm listening to music when I'm really not.
Exactly.
So I'm just
Best
walking
best technique in
around.
the world, by the way.
Exactly. So I was just walking around my neighborhood, and these cops were so focused on me that there was a woman being violated, and there was a person that got unalived by two booms. And all of this is going on their walkie-talkie, and you following me.
Right.
So as soon as I go to my apartment where I was living at with my mother, all of them went up and dispersed. I'm going to tell you why they dispersed. A lot of NYPD lived in those apartments, and they need not to mess with the residents.
Correct.
Now where I lived at was between smack dab two projects, Bronxdale and Monroe. Everybody used to
Copy.
call my building Monroe when the fact is it wasn't. So 9 times out of 10, I guess they thought that I lived in the projects when I never really did. And after a while, after everything happened and stuff, I was like, okay. For some reason, whenever I used to go over there and cops used to try to troll me or harass me or whatever the case may be, as soon as I went up and I opened the back door with the key, they all dispersed bro.
They're like, oops. Like, yeah, oops.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's ridiculous. Hey, anyone in the chat still? If anyone's in the chat, please feel free to ask a question, man. And I
Yeah,
say man figuratively speaking, because you know, it's like saying guys. Hey
yeah.
guys. Fuerte, ¿está ahí todavía o te fuiste? You still with us here, Helen? Where you
Mm.
at?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if she's still there.
I totally forgot he said he was DJing, so he has to be on those 1 and 2s, scratching it up. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, it's an amazing feat just to pull up and write something. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the middle of DJing, that's you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say it's complicated business, but it's something that it's not as easy to do. When you're mixing live, doing a live show, doing a live party, a live event. You know what I'm saying? It's so shout out to that multitasking at its finest.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's people downstairs playing loud, 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 loud music.
I mean,
Hopefully,
I never really had
residents.
that. I never really had that problem, but then it does happen.
It happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just hope that that the mic doesn't pick it up, and and these people start talking about, hey, you was playing this music in the background. No, we wasn't. Somebody else was. They were just playing it loud enough that
Yeah,
you heard it. As a matter of fact, if they have common sense, they should hear
yep,
my words now that I'm explaining what's going on in the background. Oh, okay. They already said it already. No need to review it.
right,
If only life worked that way, huh?
exactly.
Yeah, man. West Bien.
Hmm.
Time is running up on that song I need to make for August.
Right.
Yeah, I want to make a song for Harlem Week for the Children's Festival. I've been
Yo,
giving enough.
talking about that,
Hmm.
when is Harlem Week?
It depends on how it falls on the calendar,
All right, because I've
but
always seen Harlem Week, but I don't know whenever that joint is. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm not from Harlem.
I hear you. Harlem Week last year was. Let me see. Let's Google this real quick. Harlem Week 2024. All right. Calendar. Because they be doing all types of stuff, bro. This is not what I was looking for. All right. Forbes says that Harlem Day, Harlem Week, and the Harlem State of Mind. The festivities started August 18th, and there was three live stages. It was a stage on St. Nicholas Avenue, St. Nicholas Park, that
Okay.
area. There was another stage, by the park where I'm at, by Fifth Avenue. There was another stage somewhere in between, I think on Lenox, MLK, one of the two.
Yeah.
And bro, it's packed. It be packed. It's packed.
Yep.
Let's see. Harlem Week. Children's Festival. So I've been giving the chance to basically I have an open mic. I'm allowed to say what I want. I'm the first. Before it used to be the MC, the MC of the event, Uncle Ralph. He used to be the first person to grab the
Right.
mic and talk. Now I'm the first person to grab the mic and talk. I'm the first
Nice.
person to grab the mic, and I give the safety announcements to the children. I let parents know that they need to be there for their children to be in line. We're not accepting any children without their parents because the parents are the liability You know what I'm saying, for their ride. They're the ticket of their ride. If they're not there, then
Yeah.
there's a video here for the Harlem Week Festival, and I come out quite a lot. I come out doing a safety announcement on the mic. They interview me.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed me. I remember that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So they interviewed me by the bounce house. Yeah, that was pretty cool stuff. Last year, one of the OGs asked me to, you know, be a second voice, a second vocal for a song that he was singing. I heard his song one time. That was the only practice.
All right.
And it's wild. Cool. I'm seeing these little. I'm on the Harlem Week official page.
All right.
Yeah, Harlem Week. 2004 replay. I'm trying to look for the 2023 replay. Fifth Avenue stage. Harlem Week replay.
Yo, quick question. Do you be going to the Uptown Night Market?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, because they say it'll occur every Thursday until October, and it starts in April 10th.
Harlem Center Stage. Okay. This is the hip hop stuff. Cool. I just saw a little bit of history.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm given the blessing to be a part of history yet again. Like I said, Uncle Ralph used to be the MC that always grabbed the mic first and would open up the Harlem Week Children's Festival. But now I'm the one that's been doing it for the past 2 years or 3 now. So this year when I open up, I'm gonna open up and do the same thing I always do. Give the kids the safety announcements, give the parents our safety code advice, and open up with a prayer. Then later on, after the Goju Rio Club hits the stage, shout out to Sam McGee and the family and that whole lineage. The Harlem Goju Rio Dojo. Blessings to y'all. Once they hit the stage and they do their thing and they call people out for singing and stuff, then I'm gonna pull up with my beat, put the beat on, and drop the song that I'm dedicating to Harlem, dedicating to the Children's Festival. And it's been almost a year, obviously, and I still haven't come up with an idea of what I want to do, but I'm going to most likely make a hip hop that's going to be a positive message, a child-friendly positive message, and a hip hop that'll be catchy enough that the kids will be singing forever until they become adults, and most likely pass it down to their kids.
Gotcha.
So I'm really trying to sit down and put my two and twos together and deliver a message, that will cement me in Harlem history. Yeah. Let's just say it's a lot of pressure, but at the same token, how much pressure could it be for already a child hero? I'm saying my team rescued 67 kids from the hands of the cartel. Not a lot of people can say that. So,
Yeah.
let me go receive the honor of being a childhood hero yet again. When I come up to the stage as a chaplain, do my safety announcements, and then dedicate this bombshell song to the children of Harlem. This is the Harlem Festival. Let's go. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yep.
I'm saying I might make it. I might make it in a way that song might be the next anthem.
Hmm.
I'm saying it's gonna be the next. It's gonna be a Harlem anthem for Harlem Week. I'm saying for the Children's Festival. Saying I'm gonna mark history with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. I'm about to
Yeah,
just take it down for the night.
I hear you.
Yeah. You got any last words, Pete?
Never any last words because I never know when my last second's gonna be. But I got some encouraging words for you all, which is always gonna be to stay woke, stay vigilant, stay safe. Remember, anything that you're going through right now is nothing compared to the glory that later is gonna be manifested in you when you pass this test. So let's keep pushing forward. Never look back. Never step back. Not even to get impulse. Us.
Us.
We out of here.
Yep. Yeah, tomorrow we're having a stream. We're gonna actually talk about a interesting topic that's been going on. So, with that said, us, good night, and peace.